Hey, this is Deanna with Body Conscious Beauty and All Things Fashion DC, coming to you with another post for this week. I decided to do a vlog. I thought it'd be a little bit different. It's been a while since I've done one, so I figured I would do one for this week. So if you read my post from the other day, talking a little bit about fashion when you're at the gym and how to look cute when you're at the gym, you'll know that I'm going to take the next few weeks to focus on getting ready to go to the beach, which is one of my favorite things to do in the summer. So talked a little bit about fitness. If you know you have activities like you do running or you do Zumba or you do walking, whatever it is that you do, give you some fun and affordable tips for finding cute clothes, for at least going in the gym looking cute. You might come out looking a little ragged. I know I do after an hour of Zumba, but so I talked a little bit about that, and this week I'm going to talk a little bit about eating right. So I'm going to, full disclaimer here, I've got a sweet tooth. I'm just going to go ahead and say that now. It is my Achilles heel when it comes to, I can give up a lot of stuff, but I always have a hard time with sugar. But I still try to eat healthy, and, try to maintain, more vegetables to sweet things ratio in my diet. And the other thing that I, want to point out really is that a lot of people may have the impression that plus size girls, curvy girls, whatever term you use, don't work out and don't eat healthy, and that's totally not true. So I just want to talk a little bit about some healthy eating, which hopefully this will maybe get you started on a path to healthier eating, or give you inspiration to keep going, or maybe it's just a reminder and you'll just wait for the next week's post to find something more relevant for you. So when I was at the grocery store, I had a lot of things on my list. So that's the first thing that I do. I make a list, right? Because I find, especially when I end up hitting the grocery store after work, if I don't make a list, I'm just going to buy a whole lot of stuff. I'm not really going to think about what I'm pulling together. And if I've gone there and I haven't really pulled together a list, I'm probably just going to buy stuff that's quicker to make, which is often like the processed stuff, which is not really good for you. I mean, everybody eats it, and it's cool to do when you've had a long day. You can eat, put something frozen in the microwave or whatever. But I try to go to the store with a list, and that helps me sort of plan out my meals. I'm a bit of a nerd that way, thinking through what I'm going to eat, and leaving in some room for wiggle room, so if I decide to go out with my girlfriends for dinner or whatever. But I try to plan my meals ahead. But this time I am doing a juice cleanse. This will be my 4th juice cleanse. And so the last cleanse that I did, I talked a little bit about in the beginning of the year. I did a 3-day juice cleanse, and I will tell you, it was not smart to do in the wintertime. Your body needs more calories to stay warm. So I said, let me just wait, and I'm going to do a juice cleanse in the spring instead, when it's a little bit warmer and I don't really need as much energy. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that. Talk a little bit about some of the snacks that I choose for the most part when I feel hungry and I want something to nibble on, or I want something a little bit sweet, and then just talk about some ideas for cooking stuff. I love to cook. I don't cook as much as I used to, and I definitely want to get back into the kitchen. Having 2 lives is hard, and so I tend to choose the things that I cook but that are a little bit quicker, instead of some of the things that take a long time or that you kind of do on a Sunday. But talk a little bit about that. So I'm going to start with my juice cleanse. So this will be my friend for the next 3 days next week. I'm going to wait until I've got, I have the gym Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So I'm going to wait to start the cleanse when I don't need to have as much energy. So this is Suja juice. It's a pretty new cleanse, sort of on the block, and it's new to me for sure because they just recently started selling it in Whole Foods. So you can find Suja juice on the shelves, like where all the juices are. So this is my first time trying this particular brand. I've done juice cleanses before. I wanted to give this a whirl. I heard a lot of really great things about it. It's a little bit more affordable than some of the other cleanses on the block, although it's not cheap. It's $9 a bottle, so that's something that you need to be aware of, and you need to have 6 juices a day. But the reason why I choose to do a juice cleanse is a couple of reasons, really, and one of them is really to give me a foundation for kind of wiping the slate cleanish. I think I just moved So it's a very stressful time for me. I'm just kind of getting out of that. And, a lot of times I think you find when you're busy or you're running around, you're just not eating that well. Or, I started out with my resolution like everybody else did to eat, be better about sugar. And I've since, been incorporating more sugar back into my life. So kind of wanted to have a foundation for kind of giving a semi-clean slate in terms of dealing with my toxic. So I'm going to do this juice cleanse. I'm going to do it for 3 days. We'll see how it goes. I'm looking forward to it. They've got lots of really amazing ingredients in here. So like this one, for example, it's got Fuji apple, cucumber, celery, kale, spinach, lemon, ginger, a lot tastier than you think. And obviously, if you wanted to do a juice, if you have a juicer at home, you can certainly do your own juice. There's also lots of other programs out there that you can try. So if you're interested in doing a juice, talk to your doctor, talk to your friends, whoever you want to consult with. Do your research because it's important. And, it's about being healthy. So, when I did the cleanse a few months ago, second day in, I just was famished, and I decided that, I need to eat a little something or I'm going to really get sick. So I cooked a little spinach and left it at that. So, if you don't do 6 juices in a day, or if you can't hold out, try to find a healthy snack that doesn't have anything in it, a handful of raw nuts or something like that, some broth, things like that. So that's the thing. I'm going to try that next week, and I will let you know how it goes. The other thing that, when I think about snacking, which is something that, if you sit at a desk doing your job, I find that's really easy for me to do, more so than at night, or even sometimes when I'm sitting at home and I'm watching television, I will sometimes grab a snack. And so my fallback on snacks is nuts. So I love all kinds of nuts. And actually, one of the nuts that I go to often is pumpkin seeds. So you can buy them shelled out of and ready to eat. I get mine at Whole Foods. They're super cheap. They're huge. And really, I just take a handful, which is about a quarter cup, which is usually about a serving size, and just snack on that. They don't have any salt, which is great. And so they're natural and they're good for you. And, there's fat in it, obviously, but it's a good fat. So I always go to snacks. Sometimes I'll eat some almonds or things like that. Another thing which is always good for you, because they tell you to eat leafy greens, which is why this juice has so many leafy greens in it, is kale. That's one of my absolute favorite vegetables, and I do lots of things with it, but one of my favorite things to do, which a coworker turned me on to, is making kale chips. I don't know if you've ever made them, or if you're sort of a little bit shy about trying them, but they're delicious, and they're so easy to make. You just wash them, rip them up into little chips, and then you can flavor them with pretty much whatever you want. So I like to do a couple different combinations. I will do nutritional yeast and red pepper flakes. So I'm just going to take the kale, put some olive oil in it, and toss the red pepper flakes and nutritional yeast, and bake for 350 degrees for 15 to 20 minutes, and they come out crispy and delicious. And I also like to try a little garam masala, which is an Indian spice, so it's a very different flavor, but also really, really good. And it's a good snack, so it's you can make a huge batch. You can, grab a couple bunches of kale from the store. It's really affordable. Grab a couple bunches and just make them and keep them in a Ziploc bag, and then you have an easy snack at work, or even when you're sitting at home watching, whatever program that you're watching. So it's a great idea to get a snack. And then I think also I try to eat more vegetables. My mom would be very proud of me that I'm trying to eat more vegetables. And the leafy greens I really try to do a lot with. So if I make an omelet after the gym during the weekends, I always put spinach in there. I like to put asparagus in there, which is not a leafy green obviously, but it's a green. Anytime if I make a grilled cheese sandwich, which it's I want to make sure that I enjoy my greens as much as I can. So, there's going to be some cheese involved probably. And, for me, I think it's really all about moderation. So obviously you don't want to eat a block of cheese. You want to kind of watch what you're eating. But it's also about not feeling guilty about eating the things that you enjoy, because I find that when I feel guilty about eating things, if I go out to eat, and if I have, a cookie or whatever, I don't want to feel bad about that, because I think that's not really a healthy way of looking at food. But it's really about moderation. It's about enjoying your food, chewing your food, and making, good choices. And if, you make some bad choices during the week, that's okay. You know, if you're staying active, you're staying mostly healthy, you know, you're eating good, I think that that's great. So yeah, so I will sometimes do like a grilled cheese sandwich, and I'll put apples and spinach in it, or like Swiss chard and, you know, another fruit. So I kind of like to mix and match, and then, you know, do a little bit of a cheese, like a Gruyere or something like that. So that's always a fun way. And then, you know, put a side salad with that, or saute some spinach and put it with that. For sweets, now, like I said, I have a sweet tooth, so I'm not going to lie. There are going to be days when I'm going to go with my friend and grab a cookie, and I might eat half of it, I might eat all of it. I'm just going to be full disclaimer here. But when I'm home, I don't actually have a lot of sweets in the house. One thing I do keep in my house, actually, and it's rare that I have it, but when I have it, I take advantage of it whenever I can, like when I cook and things like that, and it's Nutella. Now, if you like hazelnut, you will absolutely enjoy the taste of Nutella. It's actually not as fatty as you think, and what I will do sometimes is take a teaspoon of Nutella and add some almonds to it. So I'm getting sort of that I'm getting my nuts and protein, which is great, and I'm getting the sweet chocolatey taste that I want, without a lot of the fat. So actually 2 tablespoons of Nutella is 1 serving size. So I've just taken 1/6 of that and more than got my chocolate fill, and, you know, had a little healthy piece to it too. So those are some of the things that I do when I'm trying to be as healthy as I can at home, when I'm watching Real Housewives or whatever junky TV that I've got on. It's not always easy, and that's okay, because it's really about making good choices. So anyway, I've rambled on enough. I hope that this was helpful to you. I don't really, I'd love to know more about the kinds of things that you choose. If you've done a cleanse before, like, what was your experience? What are your tips for healthy eating? I think it's important, and I'd love to know more. So please leave your comments in the blog, or you can find me on Facebook at facebook.com/bodyconsciousbeauty. This is Deanna with All Things Fashion DC, and I look forward to talking with you. Take care.